Okay, I guess we'll just maybe start going here. I don't know how the sound is or if that's working good or if you can hear me. Says I have one person hanging out. So if you can hear me, let me know. This is gonna be, or I knew the first time was going to be kind of rough. I don't have a huge channel yet. I don't think I ever will, but I don't have a huge channel yet. And um, I'm fully prepared for no one to be able to make it. I don't even know if this time is good. I just wanted to try it out. So, about to talking about stuff. We could fire this up. This was one of the things I wanted to show off. I'll have to turn that volume off. So we could end up live streaming this game here. We'll get this maybe turned around a little bit, make this a little easier, and we'll play games and talk through some electronics if people show. No one's here yet, but we're gonna keep going because I don't know really how to do this. Like, I know that this is recording and it'll save, um, and I don't know if it'll let me edit it when I'm done. But if you're here, I see one person again. Let me know in the chat. But I guess we'll just keep doing this until people come, right? If they even come. So this was something I picked up this past week. I think this is similar to this like stuff you might see on the TikTok shop or from Timu. I to a random store here in the Vancouver, Washington, Portland area, and they had this for $20. I have a rule about weird electronics. If it's $50 or less, I'm going to pick it up. So they had this, and they had this RGB keyboard. I thought this was pretty rad, and I'm trying to mount a Microsoft Surface like right here, up here on the wall. And so I thought it might be want something to be able to test boards, Raspberry Pis, Arduinos, and something to be able to plug stuff in. And if it's a Surface, right, it's a functional PC, so we should have a little bit more ability to like throw code on there and stuff. And the form factor will be nice because I think it'll fit that area well, and I'll put like maybe a little shell on it to protect it. So I thought this board would be good. The RGB is not showing great in the with the light directly on it, but there you can see it a little bit better there. I thought it was pretty rad. I tried it out air gapped because I don't know what's on that dongle. So I just thought this was pretty neat. This was like $15, so $10 maybe. So I thought that'd be worth it. Right, light back on. Oh, on the subject. So I guess I'll just maybe play till people come up. So this was just inexpensive. Sorry, just pop it in again. I'm just holding water for a good amount of time. I wet that down on Saturday. It's Monday. Wasn't like soaking wet. So, all right, let me check one more thing just to make sure that I'm live on Instagram. Yeah, that link works. Right. Okay. So hopefully people show up. I got stuff I need to do tonight. But no one's on again. So we'll start playing some games. Out of the way since our hands resting there. It's got a lot of games on it, but there's no save state. Definite IP infringement to Nintendo, but it's pretty fun. The buttons are wrong though. That's the funny part is the buttons are wrong. So all that muscle memory from my childhood is sort of irrelevant. So play this for a little bit. Give people about, I don't know, 5, 10 minutes to see who's going to show. I've also noticed that the audio on this is rushed. I think the whole thing is rushed because the time is going down rapidly. So something's off on the board. Um, I am gonna absolutely take this apart and figure it out. And that's kind of why I bought it. Figure out how it's on here this way. I was playing this normally, and I was like, "Oh man!" And so the only real way to, when you're done with the game, to back out, like there's no save states or anything. You hit the main menu, and you're back to the very beginning, whether you want to play in Chinese or English. And it says there's 400 games on here, which is funny. There's Oh, this is so wild. So it said 360 2 days ago. So obviously something going on with the board in there. And I'm not entirely certain that there aren't repeat pages. It's funny, but I've gone into so many of the games here. These are legitimately the games. Like we have Mario 3. That's wild. So I'm curious, like what's in there making this work. And you're definitely cannibalizing this. So, but the crazy thing is, like, if you were just chilling somewhere or you had, like, a kiddo, I don't know. I think kiddos today might be a little bit more expectant of their technology, whereas I'd have lost my dang mind if you handed me this as a kid or a tween. I mean, Game Boy was like, phew. And I remember trying to play my Game Boy at night by the streetlights. And then when I got that light for it, that was a game changer. Oh man, that thing went through batteries like you wouldn't believe. Oh, I screwed that up pretty bad. So yeah, it's just wild. Like all the contras on here. Let me take you through and show you what's on there. So here's the first screen of what's on there. Bomberman is on here, and that's crazy fun. Yeah, I got a few of your favorite games on here. Which ones? Dig Dug's on here. Look at all the Donkey Kongs. It's like so it's like they ported almost the entire NES catalog. They must have got a hold of the source code. Popeye, Othello. Of course, you gotta have Mahjong. Is that Pac Man? Yeah. And it also has the original Pac Man Land, which is on here. 1942. That's crazy good. Hecko Computer original Mario. Oh yeah. No, this thing is I mean, I had a defective Yahuwah, right? And I haven't used it yet, but I've trusted them in that rework station over there. At least I made sure this one was grounded. The last one was not. Oh yeah, Bubble Bobble's on here. 1942, one of my favorites. It has all the Ninja Turtle games. But here's the thing, right? They don't Dig Dug 2, like they don't quite they work, but the game clock is sped up somehow, and I'm not smart enough yet to understand. See, there's Pac-Land. Like that's a popular game. Like they ported that over to Switch. I got this for $20. This is well worth $20. I don't like this form factor. It's so funny to me. Like they tried to brand it Supreme. And they clearly, are trying to emulate the Game Boy. It is not the same size. The volume button's down. But here's what's wild. Oh my gosh, I haven't even showed you what's wild yet. All right, let's put the unit down. Check this out. It comes with a controller for a second player, and it works. I tried it out. It comes with a controller that plugs into the top here on the micro USB. Where's that USB A? I always call it the wrong thing. But here's what's even more wild. It came with audio video cords, and I could plug this into a CRT. I haven't tried it yet, but it connects into this jack here and it'll go over. And this obviously isn't stereo. We're missing the white, but we have video. Wait, I'm trying to remember my chords now. Red and white, I thought was video, and yellow was audio. Yeah. So it's crazy. Can we take the files and port them to other devices? I don't know. That's the thing. Like, I am definitely going to cannibalize this, and I was going to do this on the stream. If y'all want to see that, we'll power it down and we can start taking it apart. I mean, that's kind of one of the things that I wanted to do, but I just wanted to show you all what was on there because I thought it was crazy. So I'm working in a tight space here, so let me shuffle some stuff around and let's see what's on there. Lighting, definitely must future streams. I don't know if it's on an SD. Like, let's pop it open. I was looking at it under the microscope to see what was on it. Um, what kind of hardware it had, but let's take it apart. I have my powered screwdriver, but stuff like this, I just prefer to do by hand. Let's see. Yeah, there's about six or some that are tight. Yeah, only $20. Isn't that wild? It was such a bizarre experience too. I went into this store, um, and I think it's a tough time for computer stores right now, with the brand prices being the way that they are. And I think the store was really trying to pivot and do repair, like bring your own stuff, and we'll build your PC. They have a ton of cables. They clearly have, a factory connection in China. Like, I could tell by what they had, and they were very proud of their cable. So if I ever need a cable, if this store is open, this will be the store to go to. Or unfortunately, if they ever go out of business, um, I'll go snag up some of their stuff. But I was popping in to see if they had any type of like ESP32s, if they were selling anything like that, or if they had any Arduino boards, Raspberry Pi stuff. They didn't. That stuff is really hard to come by right now. I've not seen anything up here in the Vancouver, Washington, Portland, Oregon area where I live. Uh, Loctite on it? No, it's just some of the plastic. All right, are y'all excited? You get to see what's in here. Oh, so yeah, the battery too was pretty legit. Like a little lithium ion battery, and looks like it's. Oh, where are you at, Wild Radio? What area do you live in? So 1020 milliamp hours, 3.7 volt. So I could, and I guess on induction, I can repurpose this as well. I don't know how good the battery is. I don't know how like deep we'll get into the nerdery, but I watched episode on Adam Savage's YouTube about oh wow, you're really close. You're really close. Do you belong to a hackerspace in Portland? If you do, we might know each other. So oh, they have that riveted into there. Oh no, okay, it's just okay, whew, it's just set. So we got one more screw. I was just really curious. Boy, that one's really in there. Really curious what was in here. It's a one-sided board. I haven't seen any of these. Oh, it says message retracted. Uh-oh, you know what? That's okay. Try. Have the screen. No, not on an SD card. Got a little micro. Yeah, and they have it. Oh, interesting. Yeah, let's get y'all a better view on this. Probably do know each other. That's fine. All right. Let's get you in on this board. Get that monitor ribbon off there. I need the actual magnifying glass to do that. Okay, let's see here. There we go. Yeah, screen off. Let's take a look at this. You knew you liked me, yeah. It's easy to spot other Pacific Northwesterners. Wow. Okay. And I'm just learning about this stuff too, which is pretty rad. It's overwhelming, but it's so exciting. As a kid, I would look at these boards and just be fascinated. I've always thought that PCBs were art. So this is clearly where the games are. And now you're going to have to forgive me. I believe this is a microprocessor. Um, uh, what case on the back of the bench? Is it this? This is for an upcoming project. I was going to show off what I'm working on, and I ordered a kit from Hack Make Mod, an S3. Huh? Where? I don't know. Oh, the chip. Um, that case just there in the mud. Yeah, yeah. This is for the. They're out of stock now. They went out of stock really quick, but I ordered their space game because it's stuff like that that I'm really fascinated by. I want to. I work with a really great team of people. We're a small organization, and I would really like to make a handheld video game, and I'd really like to go to town and have it personalized with each one of their employee photos, um, and have it be like tchotchke, like weird little games that are related to the industry that we're in, um, and this is part of that process, is like trying to learn all this stuff. So yeah, I printed this case came out bad. I had rushed the file, and there's a really unsightly seam there on the 3D print, but this is a Bamboo Lab Galaxy PLA, and it's beautiful, especially for this particular use case. I think it's going to be a really neat print. So then on this one, here's the button battery case. This one, I did the seam as random. And so it just has like little bumps, which can present as if it's um, wet filament. It's not. I am neurotic about my filament. I keep it in cereal boxes with desiccant trays and hygrometers so I can see what the humidity, moisture, and I'm constantly swapping that out and drying it. So yeah, I'm just waiting on that to show up. It says it's coming Saturday. So I also figured that might be, I don't know. I think that's probably cool enough to be a normal video. I do have some stuff I'd like to work on soldering wise for the channel, but I also thought that that's these membranes, I could reuse these. I was expecting to cannibalize um, this case, right? But I'll have to see. You know, the games are obviously on here. There's nowhere else that they could be stored, and I would have to desolder that and get it off there. How interesting though, because it looks like on this board, like here, that this facilitated a bigger chip right here. and it looks like this chip is covering some of these pins. This is $20, but yeah, it's got a board name on there, and then that unfortunately is gunked up. No, it looks like maybe when they were soldering it, they cooked it a little bit, or is that probably just some flux I didn't clear off? So I can't really tell what that is. I was saving this live stream to take this apart, expecting to cannibalize this and then maybe repurposing this little guy here to be able to use this battery. Neat little form factor. Obviously, here's what cracked me up too. Like, check this out. They were kind enough to put, like, if you're holding it, this would be the back. They were kind enough to put the labels there. It's an interesting choice. I would have thought it would be this way, right? But they decided to put it on this way. So I thought that was pretty. All right, let's move on to the next thing. I want to make sure I go through all the stuff that I have. So we're gonna come back and mess with that. I do want to see if I can get those games off of there. That would be pretty stinking rad. All right. I think we are down to back down to no viewers. I don't know how any of this works. It's pretty wild to me. Let's get these we got somebody again. Let's get these screws into there. These are pretty tiny. I don't want to lose those, even though I'm pretty confident I'm not using this again. Yeah, this was the last one on the shelf. I probably would have gone back and bought more, at least one more, be able to repurpose it, So, okay, I got the screen over here. Bad screen. Not horrible. I mean, there are much better screens, but I could repurpose that. I'm new, and so everything is like a treasure to me. All right, let's go over the next thing. And I got my hands on a card pewter, and I'm obsessed with this, even though I don't fully understand everything that it does. I've watched several videos about it. Apparently, it is very similar to the Flipper Zero, but just a fraction of the price. And so I put the launcher program on there because this will allow me to store multiple games. Oh, you have the advance. The advance is literally on its way. Portland, it said today. So here's the case that I printed for it. I bought this filament for my wife. She wanted some like frozen looking mushrooms for her shells for her jewelry. And I printed her some, and then I printed the computer advance case in this because I got the Laura attachment, and this case just came out extremely well. Like, it is gorgeous. And what I really like about this print is that where it was building up here, I did this on a smooth plate, and it kind of has the translucent effect. Like, look at that. Like, that's just like randomly cool looking. I'm really enamored with this, and I love the pattern. Yeah, if you like this filament, this is, oh gosh, let me look up because I ordered a color of it in purple. This is Tech, I think it's Tech Sonar. Yeah, Tech Sonar, Crystal Rainbow, the name of the filament, and they do it in a blue and white, and then they also do it in a purple and white. And so this will fit the card pewter advance, and the LoRa attachment will go here. I think the antennas go here, and then it has cavities for other of the options. Like I got something else that comes with it, but I don't know what the other attachments are. I've quickly become obsessed with M5 Stacked. They're making some crazy good stuff. It's very fortunate for my pocketbook that they aren't easier. I mean, they're not hard to order through, but it takes a long time because it's coming directly from China. So you're also paying tariffs and what have you. I don't dare ask the husband for a 3D printer as I'm into amateur rate. Oh, that is expensive. I wanted to be a ham radio operator when I was a teenager so bad, and I failed the test. And then I just, life got real. But my wife is extremely understanding and supportive of my hobbies. She legit doesn't bat an eye. We talk about purchases like that. We have a very healthy, marriage, and particularly finances were like the first thing I talked about when I was dating her because I know it's such a big thing. Well, so I'm scratching that itch with Meshtastic. Let me pull something out of the drawer here. I made a video about this. I wasn't successful, but I am going to try again. So I bought the Heltec, the V3, right? And then it I think it was returned by someone and it didn't want to work. It was stuck in Wi-Fi mode. It didn't give me the option. I know it does mesh. I'm excited. You'll notice this is at Galaxy PLA again. I did spring for a better antenna on this. This was like 15 or $20, I think. Yeah, so I'm very excited about Meshtastic. I think it's pretty rad. I am gonna revisit this. I needed to put it down so that I could fixate on one thing. I don't know if this is the V3. This was it. Um, so yeah, I mean, my first one was bad, so that's kind of a bad experience, right? I'm not willing to judge them by that, but yeah, it just kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. But I'll give them another go. And then I don't know. I'm hoping to get more of these because I'm thinking that this is going to be my go-to. Oh, it is V3? Yeah. Okay, that's good to know. Focus battery. Hope that these are safe. I need to actually download that report and see if this was one of the companies that it's an independent lab, but Adam Savage had them on. Y'all have to rein me in if I start streaming or going down the wrong path. So good little battery on that. Lasts a good amount of time. All right. So you asked about this, yeah. So you know that the this is coming, right? I got to tell you that that video changed my soldering game. I had watched so many soldering tutorials. I don't think anybody had explained it particularly well, but Hack Make Mod said your soldering iron needs to be the first to the party and the last to leave. So that was tremendously helpful. I actually repurposed this off of the one that didn't work. Um, yeah, it was flashed wrong and returned to the distributor. Yeah, I have that's become really prevalent, I feel. I have gotten multiple, I can't even count at this point, things from Amazon and had them be used. I had gotten a Logitech mouse, a really expensive mouse, and it was dirty, right? It was super easy to tell that it was used. So make sure we turn that off. I was trying to like do stuff over the air. I was trying to get Doom on it. Of course, that's the first thing I wanted to do was get Doom on it. But I really like this. again in that same PLA Galaxy. I really like this case that I printed for it. Um, so but that magnet is crazy strong. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. So strong. Really good magnets in there. So yeah, we'll put this away for now. What else do I have? I mean, you all hopefully, if you haven't seen my video this week, it was all about my eventually successful journey onto this practice board. This was a pretty rad experience. Um, I don't I don't remember the last time I was this proud of myself, right? And then today, I'm a pretty sensitive guy. Um, and in my past life, I ran a board game company that I started from scratch. Oh, thanks for going back and watching it. If you aren't subscribed, please do. I need to get those numbers up. But yeah, I put together a video on this. In my previous life, a while ago, I ran my own board game company for a decade, and I lived on the internet because I had to as a small business owner. And towards the end of me sunsetting my board game company, people were like really upset about when they received their products, right? And I would explain, I was always transparent with my communication because communication is easy and it's free. And always people wanted to know. And when they had told me that I could go unalive myself or unalive my wife first and then unalive myself, all because they had to wait 2 weeks for their product, that I had committed to a space and a booth in Germany and needed to sell stuff there because that cost was tremendous. And they just had to wait 2 weeks after Germany. And, they invited me to unalive my wife and myself. It kind of changed how I lived on the internet. And ever since then, I really haven't put my personal life on the internet. I just go back and put professional stuff. But, anyways, all of that is a long story to say that, yeah, real humans live behind a keyboard, right? Everybody's emboldened behind a keyboard. I would, if somebody said that to my face, we'd have a very different conversation. But, anyways, I mentioned all that was a very long story to say. I don't think I'm ever gonna forget this particular chip, this IC1. What's this, a 555 timer, I think? And somebody got on the comments today. I'm extra sensitive, and he just said that my video was rage clickbait, and all I said was I soldered this board, and you can too. I don't understand what's rage clickbaity about that. He just kind of like tore me up in the comments, and my wife saw it, and she's like, "I'm gonna go beat like, honey, no." I chose to respond, telling him sorry that he feels that way. And I hope that he can make some space for people that are new and exercise some kindness. Um, but yeah, yeah, there are way more. Yeah, a woman on the internet, good grief. I can imagine things are very different for you. And I'm sorry that it's so bad. Like you could have 9 really nice, kind people, and since I've gotten into this, everybody has been so kind. Daniel with Kaizen 3D prints. He brought a lot of people my way yesterday, and yesterday was a flood of really kind people saying really kind things to me. Just so you can see the back of the boards, I just didn't, set the chips in there. Um, and it was such a nice, overwhelming experience in a good way. And then we're right back to reality today with people being trolls. So I think we have some pretty clean soldering here for a first timer. Um, these don't count these. These were the initial practice on the defective Yahuwah soldering iron. I go into it more in the long form video. Uh, yeah, I mean, I definitely hit it with some. I've got my IPA and I've got my Kim Tech wipes up there. So yeah, I definitely kept it clean. Um, so yeah, I mean, we'll let that guy ride. Maybe he's having a bad day and he wanted to attack somebody to throw him. whatever works for you, but no, not really. All right, what's next? There's a little experiment that I was doing on my lunch break today. I had 3D printed. I saw a video on YouTube. Um, yeah, YouTube Shorts, and I wedged this in there. But I had there's little 3D printed squares in there. I doubt that this piece is going to come out. There's little 3D printed squares in there. I wanted to see how a PLA mat, and then some normal PLA would do for light diffusion. So I had popped in some cheapo LED. I had popped in a warm light to see what like a weak LED would do. Um, and this guy didn't include any instructions, but I'm like, it's like no money a filament, and I didn't have anything else going on at lunch, and it was just kind of fun to mess around with and see. And I'll put the box together. I think he had put in a Spark Fun chip and a battery, and he was testing it out as a weather station. And I think he had some weather seal. He left the channel in there for some weather sealing. And I put the LED in there, and it was interesting because none of it is transparent filament, and this regular red PLA. This is an Elegoo PLA that showed up really well, and it showed up just for the one button behind it. So this plate also helps diffuse the light. ADD moment. Some fantastic artist that lives in Ashland, Oregon, Make Magazine, had him in their stories today. Did this fantastic diffused, like motion censored light where you put your hand in and it like does like this wave effect. Beautiful. I commented, how much I admired his stuff, and the guy instantly started following me. I'm like, the internet can be a magical place, and I followed him back. And I always kind of have these, you know, these ideas or dreams that these people that I admire, that are close to me, may want to hang out and we can become friends. Because it's so hard to make friends as an adult, right? But I don't want to be weird and I don't want to be creepy. I am definitely autistic. I definitely have ADHD, and I always want people to, feel safe around me. So I'm never like, hey, let's hang out, right? Whereas like when I was a teenager or a young adult, I would, and that's not everybody's bag. So this guy that did this project, he didn't upload any of the files, so I don't know what chip he's using in there. But this is a nice little strong box, right? And it's interesting because I don't know what his purpose was. I mean, the error makes sense. The arrows, the plus minus. You need more ADH runs. Well, you have one here. I will be your friend. The barrier of entry is very small. You just have to not be a bad human being and not support other bad human beings. So the bar is real low. Eccentricities are encouraged. So I got the clips. I needed some extra hardware, or else I would have put it together. I need some more pins that aren't the size of this. So we'll put that together. So there's that. You got that to show off. And then I'm almost out of stuff. Um, cool, you're in. Awesome. Yay! Thank you so much. All right. We have that. And then I think I'm just about out of things because I don't have like a soldering project planned. What I do have was a really nice big Adafruit that came in. So let's see what we got here. I have an Adafruit problem, and it's pretty great. And then they gave me the free coaster, of course, and then this came free with the order. I guess when you hit a certain, you know, but a tiny SDR. What's an SDR? I don't know. Maybe I do have this, and I guess this is a little a KB 2040 board. and I guess it's primarily used for custom keyboards. Look at all those pins, though. Like it does quite a bit. Um, and yeah, I don't have a keyboard, but you know, I'll take any chips that someone wants to send me for free. There's a guy that watched my video that wanted to send me some soldering kits, and so I had been meaning to go out and get a PO box. So I finally did that yesterday. I went to the UPS store, same exact price as the PO box. So here we have. Look at this. This is a Matrix hat. This is a second Matrix hat. We've got a couple ESP 8266 breakouts, some cables, and some standoffs for pie hats, and some magnet holders, and those are all for something that's larger. Let me pull it out. A cyber bonnet for your Pi 400. Oh, I hope I'm smart enough to pull this project off. But I saw this and was really obsessed with it. And I'm like, I absolutely will do whatever it takes to learn it. Although the video didn't have, like, it had a different hat in it. So I'm hoping that these babies are fragile. So we got a couple. These. Yay. So that one's not damaged right there. What is, oh, there's screws. Oh, okay. Holding together. So these RGB matrix boards, I think these are matrix panels. So I've got this smaller rectangular panel, and I thought this would be really neat to do like a subscriber count on. Although it's not healthy to know that number, I definitely need to exercise some boundaries with how much I look at the analytics. I've gotten better. I used to look at them nonstop, and it would just make me feel like garbage. Um, I don't have a lot of social media, and I didn't have social media for a long time. But this is fascinating to me, and look at how I love how clean this board is. I am obsessed, and what's worrying me is that when I discovered printing, I became really obsessed, and I think might be more obsessed with electronics and 3D printing. I'm going to marry the two, like, and this is not like, trust me, I know my autism well, I know my ADHD well, and these are not flash in the pan obsessions. These are not flash in the pan. Yeah, like, no, definitely hyperfixation, but I am not moving on from this stuff. Like, I am going to make an honest long term go at this. I really don't give stuff up in this age. Like, I'm 45 now. I'm not getting into something to bounce right out of it, particularly with how much money I've spent on 3D printers. So this is just a larger one. Um, I really wanted, yeah, radio is a lifestyle. So is 3D printing. You get to become your whole personality if you let it. Um, so this is just a larger one. What I really wanted to do on this one, and what got me excited about this is I want to do the Mario clock and calendar, the Mario one. I thought that would be a really neat one. Um, and I've got I've got more coming, so we'll pull up the phone here and I'll tell you more. Don't want to show my phone live on the stream, but I've got a couple more kits coming. One here already, and I started breaking it down. And the instructions are very difficult, but uh, yeah, you're learning from that. Uh, First, you're hearing about what? What are you hearing about for the first time? The RGB matrix displays. So this is a new kit I got, and I have grief. I've got two kits coming from the Mario on the display. Yeah, if you it popped up in my YouTube feed as I guess there's some company a couple years back that did those RGB boards. And they did like they're crazy expensive. And so this guy's, saying, hey, you can make it for much cheaper. You can make it for like a third or the fifth of the price. And you can if you can solder and you know what parts to source. Um and the Mario was the one he showed. So I've got this kit. This one's a little more complicated. So this is a little tiny translucent FM radio, and I really liked it because I don't know why I have a weird quasi obsession with like prison TVs and like stuff that they allow into prisons. I think it has nothing to do with prison, other than the fact that I feel bad. Like I'm like, oh, okay, well they have TV, right? So something, but I don't want to get into the prison topic. There's plenty of people in there for good reasons, plenty of people in there for not good reasons, plenty of people that super should be in there, and plenty of people that super shouldn't be in there. So it's a wide spectrum. Um, but I think it's not the prison aspect that I'm obsessed with. It's the fact that it's clear. And as a child that grew up in the 80s and 90s, I'm obsessed with, transparent things like the early Apple stuff, the Nintendo 64s, the, VTech, house phones, all of that crap that was clear. Yeah, clear cases for life. So this goes in a clear case. And I really liked the instructions on this practice board. They were written pretty well, but I struggle with reading instructions. I'm a visual kinesthetic learner, and so my heart um kind of dropped when I opened this. And these are extremely small. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have a really hard time with this. I do appreciate that they broke it down in a parts list. I do appreciate that there's a schematic there. Um, like that's going to be pretty dang difficult to break down. So I scan the QR code, and at least they have bigger things on their website. So I'm definitely going to have a tablet or a computer pulled up when I work on this kit. Yeah, I have a printer with a scanner. I thought about printing the instructions off, but I'm like, that's a lot of ink. Um, and none of the components look particularly intimidating. Um, I am just now learning about SMD soldering. I don't know if there's any SMD bits in here. I don't think so. This wasn't marked as an SMD kit. It looks like everything has push through, yeah, enhance. So, we'll get to that. So I have this kit that I want to put together, and then I have two coming from Hack Make Mod. I've got the space kit, and then I also got his little Merlin style like cube, right? And I think that comes with the 3D parts. 3D printed parts. I opted to print my own, and cool and good on him for including those step files. Then I also this weekend he had reposted some stuff. Oh, excuse me. It'll be a long day. He posted some stuff um from Axio Meta. And so I have let's see if this can show up here. Here I'll cover the order, but I have that RGB light mixer kit coming, and then an electronic dice kit coming. So we have those two coming, and then I wanted to start getting into SMD soldering. So I have a couple more of this company. I think it's the Get Fun, um, is their name, and they were really actually quite cool. They had really misrepresented the size of this on Amazon. I was expecting it to be about, a little bit smaller than this tray here. And so come, look at the scale there. And I was expecting it to be about yay big, right? And so I had gone on and been like, this isn't okay. You're misrepresenting this. And they actually refunded half the order. I'm like, that's fair. You sent me half the kit, give me half the price. But I have ordered a couple more kits from them that are particularly for practicing SMD. Um, so we have let's see, let me open this up. I have this kit coming. This is going to be a woozy, but that ought to be a lot of fun. Look at all those bits. So I'm going to try this a different way. I wonder if they include a stencil. That's going to make a huge difference here, whether they include a stencil or not. And this will give me a chance to use that heat gun. But I thought this was pretty good, like 4.3 out of almost 800. Yeah, so much surface mounting practice. And then I bought another kit um, that, where did it go? Here it is. Packager left. Can you show me the product? Apparently not. It won't let me click on it. Dang it. That's silly. Yeah, it's not letting me. Oh, here we go. There we go. I just had to click a couple. This monstrous one. So this will at least let me practice this style of chip. That'll be good. I like how they're like an AI generated photo. Clearly, I'm like, wait, who would? I mean, I would put that next to some gifts. I'd be like, oh, I wouldn't care what was in the box. I'd want to play with the board. So, a bunch of resistors, some diodes, some capacitors. I thought this came with more than just this one because this was not. How expensive was this? $9. Like, right, $9 to practice this. This kit. So I've got some paste coming and some fun stuff. But that's about all that I have in the pipeline. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much, Wild Radio. I didn't expect anybody to show up today. So how cool somebody that actually, lives in my area showed up. This was a ton of fun. And I just needed to see like how this was. And I was planning on doing it for an hour, and we're at that mark. I have some pots and pans in the sink that are calling my name. So thanks again. It was so glad to have met you as well. And if you want to see these streams in the future, I'm going to do these. I don't know how often, at least, once a week, I think, maybe, or once every 2 weeks. I'm not sure yet. But I'll definitely announce it on my Instagram, which is the same as my channel here, Patty Melts. So if you just look me up there, you can find me there. And then I don't know if YouTube lets me announce live streams in the future, like to schedule them. But I will if I can. So yeah, thank you so much. I so appreciate you all being here, and I will see you later. Take care, everybody.